Señores y señoras, nosotros tenemos más influencia con sus hijos.
Okay, jungle junkies, we are here, and you are there. It's great to see everyone. Thank you so much.
Michael Fordham nailing it again. Thanks, Andy, for bringing it to my attention that he did nail it. Making me all self-conscious about how I talk. All right, our first guest this evening is really difficult to even introduce as a guest, just because he's our friend. He's not a guest.
No, he's a friend. He's a friend.
Yeah, everybody, come ahead, welcome our brother, buddy, friend, love of our lives, Brian Barczyk. Hey, Brian.
Hey guys, what's going on, man? It's nice to be back on. How are you guys doing?
Not bad.
Not much, Andy. What's up, man? Yeah, the show was good last weekend. That's awesome. It's good to hear that there's another show in the Northeast. I'd love to come check. You said September,
come.
Right?
You totally need to be there.
Yeah.
You gotta come, Brian. It's a good show, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would totally come. The only thing we'll have to take a look at is just when I'll be in Germany, for the Ham show in September. Other than that, if I'm in town, I'm there.
No. Yeah, sorry, Mr. World Traveler, which is why, this guy, in the last month, he has put on more mileage, I swear, than, I don't even know. It's ridiculous. What the hell have you been doing, man? You are, all over the world, and I am so freaking jealous. It's absurd.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't really know what's going on, to be honest with you. It just seems like, opportunities to travel have come my way the last, 14 months or so, and I've been taking every opportunity I can. It's really difficult because, I love being home with my family and my animals and all that stuff, and it puts a lot of pressure on, keeping all the other things in my life somewhat sane. But but it's just so awesome. I think that I just have this travel bug. You know what I mean? I love to travel. I love to go do new animal adventures and meet new people and get an opportunity to do cool things. And I kind of feel like maybe this is a fleeting moment. That who knows? Maybe a year from now I'll never have these opportunities again. I don't know. Maybe I'll have more opportunities. I have no idea. But I kind of think it's one of those things that when the opportunities do come, you have to grab it.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm doing.
It would be nice if you took some of your friends along for the rest.
Yeah, remember us.
Well, hey, you're always welcome, guys. You always will. As a matter of fact, I'm what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was trying to think what I was doing tomorrow. I was going out to wrangle some gators at Critchlow's gator farm tomorrow, because in the fall we took the gators out of the water and put them into their winter housing, and now we're putting them back outside. And it was funny because Joshy, was coming with me tomorrow, but the weather is horrible tomorrow, and much better on Sunday. So Dave Critchlow, the owner, called and said, "Hey, why don't you, wait till Sunday?" And then Josh couldn't come, and I was almost like, I don't think I'm going to go. So I guess my whole point is I hate to go places alone, and I hate to travel alone. So the more the merrier. I tell you, when I can have someone come with me, I'd love to have you guys. You guys just gotta get off your butts and come along.
Seriously, man, we have to get out.
It's our fault. We're always to blame.
It's mostly Andy's fault.
No, it's fine. I'll take the blame.
Yeah,
I accept the brunt of the problem.
There's a lot of great travel this year. I mean, a lot of great stuff, all over the place. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to be leaving for Africa in 10 days, but I canceled the trip just because there's just no way I could do it. I mean, I've got so much booked right now, and I've got so much going on with the animals and all kinds of other things, in the works. I just have to cancel it. And although, I'm doing a bunch of business over in West Africa this year, I just felt like I could probably do it from back stateside rather than going over there and originally. And I've been wanting to shoot a documentary on West Africa for about 5 years now, and that's what the whole idea was going over there, was to do the first part of filming. That would maybe take 2 or 3 years. Because I think it's just such an interesting story about what happens over there with ball pythons in West Africa, and really the fact that it's slowly going away. You know, the ecology of the way they're handling things over there is not what it used to be. And I don't know if it was ever going to be a completely sustainable resource, but it's definitely deteriorating quickly in front of us. And I think that...
Hold up. Why do you think that's happening? Like, what's going on over there that's actually deteriorating?
Yeah, the biggest thing is that, you know, in the past, the majority of the countries, anyways, you know, Togo and Ghana, really ball pythons come from Togo, Ghana, and Benin. Benin was always a little sketchy with whatever they did, but Togo and Ghana usually adhered to CITES regulations pretty good, which was that you had to collect wild-caught gravid females and then re-release them back into the wild. And unfortunately, because Hong Kong and China has become such major players in the exotic animal world, they're now selling all those females that lay eggs mainly as skins. And so literally virtually no adult females are being re-released back into the wild, and the numbers of eggs are just dropping like flies. I mean, you know, you figure about 7 or 8 years ago there was over 100,000 baby ball python CITES issued for export. This year we're probably going to be under 50,000.
Wow.
And that's only in a couple year period that it's really nosedived. I think you're going to see in the next 2 to 3 years numbers even crash further than that. And now, you know, there's the argument sometimes over there is that they're still collecting from a relatively small area in the scheme of how big the countries are. And that very well may be the case. You know, maybe they're just going to have to expand their hunting ground. But my point is, eventually they're going to run out of hunting ground. And and it's kind of a sad story. And you know, for the people that haven't dealt with, you know, third world countries or Africa, you know, they have a very different mentality about the way they go about dealing things. They're really about today. They don't think about tomorrow. It's analogous to the rhino horns and elephants and all the other things that happen all over in Africa. You know, these people are just trying to put food on their table. They're trying to make money. They're doing whatever, and they weren't raised with the mentality of thinking about the next generation or years to come. They just think about today, and that's it.
Well, and, do you think there should be some, I guess, forethought to try and teach some of these people how to, you know, look for the future and work towards the future with you know, the snakes that are being exported?
I think it would be great, but unfortunately, I think it's just it's a culture thing, and I think it would, you know, I don't know that you could educate them. I mean, I beat my head against the wall for years and years and years trying to deal with the West Africans, and I love them to death. Don't get me wrong, I've got tremendous friends over there. I have unbelievable admiration for many of the dealers over there. But they just don't think the same way we do, and I don't know that you can teach them. I've told a story once before about the first lavender albino ball pythons that were ever hatched in Africa. It was from a guy in Abomey, Benin named Patrice, and he wanted, you know, we didn't know they were lavender albinos. We just thought they were albinos, you know what I mean? And he kept on saying, "Oh, master, these are much more pretty than normal albinos." But they always say that, so we didn't know what he was talking. You know, we were like, whatever, you know, he's just on crack or whatever. And they were selling for about $5,000 for albinos here in the States. And he hatched out 4 albinos. Ironically enough, they turned out to be lavender albinos, but that's a whole other story. He just thought they were albinos. They were selling for $5,000 here. He wanted $3,500 a piece for them. I was paying $3,000 for albinos. That's what I was paying for in Africa at the time. And so I actually, you know, he said, no, you know, I want $14,000 for the 4 of them. And I said, I'll give you 12. And he said, nope, 14. And I literally sent the guy to his place from Accra, Ghana.
Shake him down?
8-hour drive. What's that?
Did you shake him down? Or did your boy shake him down?
No. We went there with $12,000 cash, and he turned me down point blank. Said,
nope, you're walking around West Africa with $12,000 in cash?
Yeah.
You can tell you're from Michigan. My God. You'd be like, what are you, crazy?
you always hire security when you do it, and security's really cheap there. I mean, like $20 a day you can hire two guys.
Did you have the metal attaché case handcuffed to your hand?
No, believe it or not, you just like throw and you really have CAFA. Normally you're buying in CAFA, and it's like $12,000 literally fills an entire backpack up. I mean, entire stuffed with money. And you just throw that on your back, but you always have security with you and stuff like that. But anyways, turns us down flat, and then like a month later, I hear Tracy and Dave Barker bought them, but only bought 3 because one died. And so we got $10,500 for 3 of them. And so I called him up and said, Patrice, why didn't you take the $12,000? And he said, I got $3,500 for them. I said, yeah, you got $3,500 for 3. And I went back and forth with him for probably 20 minutes, and he never really got it through his head that he made less money, because in his mind, he made $3,500, and that's all that mattered.
Right.
Yeah, and so you see what I'm saying? It's a very different mindset. They don't think to the future. They don't think that, hey, we should sell these now before they die. And I can't tell you how many times I went back and forth with people on animals in Africa where, like I said, they literally won't budge on their price. The animal dies, and then they get nothing. And it's a really I guess guys, it's difficult to teach them how to be ecology of things. Again, it's analogous to the black rhinos or whatever. Where these people, they just can't learn that these animals are about to be gone off the face of the planet. They just think, hey, if I can get a rhino horn, it's going to put my family into a great spot for the next 10 years. And that's all they can think of, and they can't think of beyond what they've been raised. And so there's a really interesting story over there with Africa and how they, as I call it, reptilian gold, is changing so dramatically over there. And, in the way, it's supported so many families for a long time. As a matter of fact, Kevin McCurley used to goof around and say that, there were entire villages in West Africa that wore BHB shirts because I supported so many families over there for so many years. And
we love buying BHB.
but unfortunately, I ended up canceling the trip, and I didn't get over there because I got too much going on. But yeah, lots of great travel this year.
Wait, let me ask something seriously about this, because first of all, we've already gone and broken the Urban Jungles radio record for ball python talk. So if you've ever doubted that I love you, Brian, let me tell you, this is the longest we've ever talked ball pythons on this show. But let me ask you this: what would seriously happen if there were no more ball pythons coming into the country? That's it. I mean, don't we have enough stateside?
It's a great question. It's one that I think about all the time. What really the ball pythons, coming from West Africa, are mainly about the pet trade. About the fact that pet shops can sell these ball pythons retail for $59 or whatever, and those are great entry level pets. And I don't know what the value of a ball python, the highest value that a person that walks into Petco or PetSmart is going to pay for a ball python. I don't know what that number is, but I can tell you this much: we can't produce the ball python cheap enough to sell to Petco or PetSmart and have it an animal that's an entry level pet. A ball python in volume producing, you really have between $75 and $85 into production into that animal. And which would mean that the pet shops would have to probably sell them for $159 to $189 per head, and just how many people are going to buy a baby ball python for close to $200? So
some people do.
Part of me, go ahead.
No, I've seen people at the big box chain stores. They buy them, and they're not great looking snakes, but people buy them, and then they buy the setup, and they talk to the people there, even though sometimes the people that work there have no idea on what exactly needs to go into the care of these animals. So if I'm the unlucky patron who's there to listen and overhear exactly what's being told, that's when I have to turn around and just give them a spiel about it, and then I wind up becoming friends with the customer, and the employee hates me.
Yeah. And that, we've all done that. I think that there's certainly a lot of evils in those types of situations. There's no doubt about it. But, I think that, ball pythons are still a great ambassador to, the pet trade, as far as like that entry level, cool, exotic animal. And I think that if it was done right in West Africa, you could sustain it, for a long, long time, maybe indefinitely. And it's just a sad thing, So I don't think that we, do we have enough mutation ball pythons? Absolutely. We have no problem, meeting that demand. But we aren't going to be able to, Petco, buys about 27,000 ball pythons a year from Bill Brandt. No one's going to produce 27,000 ball pythons for Petco in the future. You know what I mean? So it does change the pet trade a tremendous amount. Some people think it trades it for the good, and I'm not going to really argue if it does or not. I don't really know the answer to that. But, it will change it. The landscape will change. These aren't leopard geckos that you can pump out for $6 or $7 a piece and still be profitable. They're an animal that are very low fecundity. It's going to be really devastating. And I think that before it goes away, it's not going to just go away, but it's going to, I'll give you an example. I mean, I would say you're going to see imported ball pythons come into the country for about 50% more than they did last year, value-wise, which is already a huge increase. I'll tell you guys a quick story, and I'm sorry we're talking about ball pythons here, but it's really more about the hobby than it is about ball pythons. Right. I used to pay $2 a ball python. Yep. Out of Africa, $2.
I remember those days.
How long ago was that?
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago, not even 10 years ago. I mean, you just sit back and think about how sad that is. I was selling corn snakes for $10 and buying ball pythons for $2. So already it's come a long way. I mean, ball pythons have 800% at their price, and well, maybe not 800%, but certainly 600 or 700% at their price in the last decade. And I think it's just going to continue to move on. And I always keep thinking to myself, is when do we hit that price point that the pet trade can no longer sustain it? And I think that as the supply continues to reduce and the demand is continuing to increase on the pet trade side of things, it's going to be a really interesting dilemma that we're going to be facing in the next, 2, 3, 4 years, maybe even sooner. And like I said, I would just love to document it. I'd just like it to be, on film and to tell that story and the ups and downs. And it would be great to know why, international CITES isn't policing things like they should be over in West Africa, and they're letting, just like so many wildlife issues around the world, they're letting this travesty happen, and they're saying, okay, you can't sell an adult female ball python that you collect that has eggs. You can't sell that female, but you can kill it and sell its skin.
Well, it's Indo too. I mean, like the reticulated python trade. I think the statistic is literally like for every live animal. I mean, it's 4 or 5-fold in the skin trade that's exported.
Yeah.
And these are large pythons.
So devastating.
Yeah.
It's so devastating. But regardless, we don't have to get into the sad parts of life. We could sit here and beat our head against the wall all night and be upset about it. Instead, we can talk about fun stuff too.
Right. No, of course. It's just I just like to talk ball pythons.
Oh, I know you're a ball python head, man, and I understand it. I like to look at myself as a little more sophisticated than that. I have to sometimes bring myself down to your level.
Thank you, Brad. I appreciate you dumbing it down for us here a bit. So what's up, man? How you been? I haven't talked to you like even personally in a bit, man. You've just been everywhere. Like Tinley, I lost you like after Tinley. Like I was talking to you before that, and then like Tinley passed by, and you were like, like. Africa.
Yeah, well, he went from
California, Florida,
to Oz.
He's hanging out with all these freaking crazy ass Australians that came up and
So
the
Aussies.
Yeah, the Aussies were so much fun. I mean, we had such a great time, and it was great. And we're doing, we're going to be doing another tour with them coming here in October for the October Tinley show, and we're going to run around and do some new animal adventures in the country. And then I head back there in November, and we're really working hard to put together the package. We want to take like 12 people, with us, to Australia. And, we hope we'll have all the pricing and everything else figured out within the next week by the latest. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to have it this week. So hopefully by next week we'll have all the pricing and we can we're hoping that we can take 12 people, because I love Australia so much. I always say it's my second home. It's a place I just feel better there than anywhere else in the world. I just love the people. I love the animals. I love everything about it, and I just can't wait to share that with a dozen or 15 people or however many people we end up bringing. I think we're going to keep it to a dozen just because I want it to still feel real intimate.
I'm having it in your backpack just to let you know.
10 spots left. 10 spots left, people. Just so you know.
But it's great. It'll be a lot of fun. But
so what's some of the stuff that you're going to be doing? So like you're going to grab a bunch of Americans and head over there and make them eat Vegemite and stuff.
Oh man, yeah, Vegemite's a must. No, we're gonna fly into Brisbane. We'll do the Ipswich show with Scales and Tails.
Yeah, Scales and Tails. We love the Kukowskis. That's right. Yeah, we have the latest issue of Scales and Tails sitting behind Andy right now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they're fantastic people. I love them to death. They're like my family over there. I love them all, and so we'll check out that. We'll definitely hit the zoo, and we're trying to arrange a day with Bob, obviously, and that sounds like it's pretty much sealed, and then we're going to head up to Darwin for a few days and hit Crocosaurus and do the Cage of Death and Jumping Croc River and Fog Dam and a bunch of really cool stuff up in Darwin. I spent a week there a year and a half ago doing some film project, and Darwin's fantastic, and then we're going to head back down to Sydney and do a little bit of sightseeing, touristy stuff, and then head up to John Weigel's Reptile Park and
as friends, Brian, do we get some type of discount as friends on this pricing, or?
Absolutely. Actually, the pricing isn't going to be that bad. I mean, when I originally was thinking, I thought it was going to be a lot more, and we've got it down to a price. One thing that's nice is when you really know a lot of people, and entry into a zoo there is about $80.
Wow.
80 American.
80 American dollars. Well, no, 80 Australian, which means it's even more American.
Yeah.
So it's probably about $85 to $90, to get into, say, the Australian Zoo. So fortunately, almost everywhere we're going, we know people that we can get in for free.
Yeah.
And so I mean, just in entries alone, we're going to probably save about $1,000. Nice. And so we got our pricing pretty good. The only thing that sucks about going to Australia is everything is expensive. Gas is expensive, car hire is expensive, hotel. Here you stay in a decent hotel for $120 a night or something like that. Right. There you stay in a shit hotel for $200 a night. And so everything is just a little bit different, but it'll be a lot of fun.
Do me a favor, dude. You have to do me a huge favor. I am going to give you a handful of Urban Jungles Radio bumper stickers. I need you to go to 42 Wallaby Way in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
And post stickers
What's
up.
there? What is it?
What? Have you not seen Finding Nemo?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Brian,
I'm sorry. Oh, I feel so bad.
Andy just walked out.
On your toe.
I know, it's just like I've lost all credibility.
Right, Andy just walked out of the studio in complete disgust at the fact that you could not recognize 42 Wallaby Way, Brian. Brian.
Yeah.
Andy, come back, please. Andy, come back.
Well, the thing that's funny is literally, I'm not kidding you. Just before I came on with you guys, I was watching Wreck-It Ralph. So I happen to be a big fan of those type of shows. So
I don't know, man. My chat room is telling me to hang up on you right now.
I know. I blew that one. I apologize.
All right, no, but anyway. No, we still love you, Brian. It's okay. No, that's awesome, man. That sounds like you have a tremendous trip lined up, man. What an amazing opportunity! And talk about being able to see it the right way.
And that's going to be happening October, you said?
That was actually in November.
Okay.
I think it's like the 10th or 12th or something. Right in that range, second week in November. And but like I said, I just want to share that type of stuff. I mean, I've been so fortunate to make so many great friends and meet so many great people over there. I think it's always a lot more fun. And there's some crazy stuff. I mean, we'll get a chance to have people feeding like a 18-foot salty, and it's going to be pretty badass. I mean,
how long is the trip going to be, like total?
It's going to be like 10 or 12 days. I mean, we're trying to
his
get
vacation days.
Dude, yeah. Check your.
You don't know what I'm going to have to do.
No, seriously, like all realness. Why can I not talk? This is like a lifetime trip. Like
Yeah.
this is not like a casual Disney World trip. Like
No.
this is a trip you make and you'll remember for the rest
Yep.
of your life. I mean, just even the chance to go and meet up with people like Bob Irwin or go to like iconic places like the zoo, you know, that's absurd.
And it's April. How
Yeah.
much? We got a couple months to save up. I think we could work on that.
Yeah, it's like 5 months. Yeah, five and a half, 6 months. So, I mean, it really is. And like you said, guys, it really is one of those things. And I mean, I've been fortunate enough to go there a bunch of times, but most people, probably would get one shot if ever in their entire life. And,
Yeah.
and I know that we'll make that, just like we made the Aussies that came here. I mean, as a matter of fact, it's pretty ironic. Like almost every single one of the Aussies that came are coming back in October. That gives you an idea how much fun they had, and we take it real serious. I mean, we're having a great time, but we kind of we know where to go, when to go, how to go, and it's just going to be a blast. And it's something that I probably don't have the time to do this, because we're talking about doing it maybe twice a year if it goes well.
Wow.
Like twice a year here, twice a year there. And, I don't know that I have the time to do it, but at the same time, I can't pass up the opportunity. I mean, I just love the trip. And although, I just was flying back from California, I started to just remember the feeling of that long, treacherous flight.
That's a no-joke trip,
God.
man.
How long is that flight for you, Brian?
Well, this is what I'm thinking about doing is we're thinking about flying, I'm going to try to advise people to maybe get into L.A. I mean, if people are warriors, and I've done it, I mean, as a matter of fact, every time I've won, I've done it, where I just, fly to L.A. and then fly out of L.A. right to Sydney or Brisbane. And in that flight, like from Detroit, you've got about 5 hours to L.A., and then from L.A., you've got about 15 hours to Sydney. So you're looking at 20 hours before you hit down in Sydney. My worst trip was when I went to Darwin, where I went 5 hours to L.A., 15 hours to Sydney, had a 10-hour layover in Sydney because that was the only flight I could get because it was like on a time crunch. Flew to Brisbane, met up with Joy and Troy and everybody for a 2-hour layover, and then a 5-hour flight to Darwin. From the time I left my house to the time I landed was 42 hours.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was the most brutal trip I've ever done.
Did you know? Did you know what day it was when you got off the plane?
No, well, no. I was so discombobulated. It was, and I don't sleep on a plane. That's the bad part, And the thing is, you leave at like 6 at night from Detroit, and your flight doesn't leave till about midnight in L.A. And so, you're already up for 12 or 14 hours before you even leave, and then you're on the plane for 40-something hours, or on the plane / layovers for 40-something hours with no sleep. So I was up like 50-something hours before we landed. And the bad part was is it was like 2 in the morning Darwin time, and I was, like I said, I was doing some film work down there, and our call time was 8 in the morning.
Oh.
So I got in at 2 in the morning and woke up at like 6 o'clock to get ready. I was absolutely yeah, no, I was buckled. I mean, I was buckled, but no, this is what I would say. If someone had the extra time, this is the way to do it, and this is the way I'm hoping I can do it, is to get in L.A. like the night before you leave. Get a good night's rest. Get that flight out of your hair. Spend the day in Cali a little bit, chilling out. You leave at night on Cali night, and you only have like a 15-hour flight to actually, we're going to fly into Brisbane, so it's only like 14 hours. So that's, I mean, 14 hours sounds like a lot, but it's really not that bad. You know what I mean? And then we're going to do the same thing when we come back. We're going to go from Darwin to Sydney, and we're going to spend a couple days in Sydney so that we've adjusted to the flight from Darwin. Because, again, that same trip I was telling you about before, I flew from Darwin, left at 2 o'clock in the morning, left Darwin, flew directly to Sydney, and then Sydney to L.A., L.A. to Detroit. And that was just really, really difficult. So I figured this way we can fly from Darwin to Sydney, spend like 2 days in the Sydney area doing like the reptile park and Taronga Zoo and whatever else, and then we'll be all fresh and ready to go. And then it's just one big jump to L.A., and it's not that bad.
And of course, most of the participants will be drunk throughout.
I'm tired just listening to this. I'm tired. I want to go, but I'm tired.
It's so worth it, though. I mean, it's a long, brutal trip, but it's I'm telling you, when you do the trip, it's hard, but when you do it, you go, oh my gosh, was that worth it? I mean, it was so worth it, and it doesn't matter where you go. I mean, it's but when you start doing those trips often and stuff like that, your perspective is weird because, like, I'll fly to Europe or something now, and and it feels like a short flight. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, it's only like 8.5 hours. You know,
I can do this stand on my head.
You know?
Dude, so how's Europe?
Like,
Europe seems to treat you really well. You're like superstar over in Europe
Ham.
as well. I mean, I see you like they're having like publicity parties for Brian when he goes over there.
God,
So like people,
right,
I was gonna bring this up.
Are you going back to Japan too?
That's right, in Japan and
import us a nice big giant flying squirrel.
yeah, bring us back that big flying squirrel, dude. I need that.
Oh my gosh!
Way.
I was just looking at footage at this, today. Obviously, when I launched that Mutual Omaha guide thing, and I remember that huge squirrel, and I missed that. As a matter of fact, I was just talking with Nob from Tokyo ZooMed yesterday, and I'm getting my trip together to head back to in the end of July. Back to Japan, so it's great. It's just so crazy to see the stuff over there. I mean, you'll see, slow loris is just walking around on people's farms, and I don't know if I told you guys this story when I think I might have when we were on the air with you guys last year. I mean, one of the craziest thing was just like to see this 10-year-old walking around with an owl on her arm. I mean, it's just like
Straight out of Harry Potter.
yeah. So you just look and go like, what? You're like 10 years old and you've got an owl? So it's just a crazy, surreal world over there. And
I'm gonna send you an owl.
I think I'm sending you an owl. But I mean, I'm hoping. I really wanted to. There's a couple other really great shows that I don't know. I'm really looking at that Indo show. It's an amazing show, and I believe it's in July. But I've been going back and forth with the promoter a little bit about maybe going over to that show. I've always wanted to get over to Indo, and they have. It's very similar to the Australian or the Japan show, where it's a lot of really cool stuff, and so I think that's neat. I know Bob Clark is going to Dubai this year. I would love to do that. I'm not going to do it this year, but maybe next year I'm going to try to suit that in. I think there's a lot of great stuff all over the world that you just got to be willing to go do, and it's so worth it. That the adventure is amazing, and I mean, I just wish that someone would pay me to just travel around and film stuff all over the world. That would probably be what would make me happiest.
Not a bad deal, indeed. No. Going around the world with all these equally psychotically crazy about animals people, and just seeing all these cool spots. I mean, it's pretty tremendous, dude. And it's so cool that you get this perspective, this global perspective of the animal trade. I mean, do you are you taking notes and bringing stuff back with you to the U.S.? Have you learned from these other people? Are they doing stuff in ways that we should, I should say?
I don't really think so. I think the U.S. is definitely, still the leader, whether it's just that we have the population and the demand and all the other stuff, so we're more commercialized than the rest of the world is probably what it's about. Europe is probably the most similar to the U.S., but their trade isn't quite as big as a whole, and of course there's a lot more regulation there than there is here. So there's it feels a little bit different over in Europe than it does here, and then the rest of the world just seems to be way far behind us. With the way it's so no, I haven't ever taken anything I don't think from anywhere else in the world and wanted to apply it per se to America, but I've certainly learned a lot of lessons, and I've been able to see some amazing things, and so no, it's been great experiences, and like you said, everywhere you go, it's so different. I mean, it's just amazingly different. But what I've seen when you get into some of the other countries, obviously Africa and some parts of Asia, is that they don't put the animal care as much as we do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's a lot of things that happen in those countries that if it happened here, you'd probably go to jail for neglect, and so that's a little disappointing. You start seeing, and it's a little disheartening too, because you're involved in the trade, and you're seeing animals being treated, just strictly money, and that's a little bit disappointing. Obviously, certain parts of the world, smuggling it's just a way of life, and that's really a sad thing to see. But no, it's still a great experience. I mean, I love it, and I think it's really neat, how some parts of the world are really starting to explode reptile-wise. Some for the good, some for the bad. As much as China is really bad with the skin trade right now. They're also really good with the exotic trade. I mean, as a whole, I don't know what the care is, on the home by home level, but the market is really, really exploding over in China and Hong Kong and Taiwan. Also a lot of the Middle East is starting to really explode too, as far as interest, and obviously Indonesia, is coming online well too. They're not just exporting animals now, but they're importing stuff at a pretty good clip. So it's interesting to see how certain parts of the world have kind of picked up on the designer side of the reptile trade, which is pretty interesting.
I was going to ask you, what about here in the U.S. now? I've noticed this trend. It seems like we're exporting a lot of stuff to other countries. I mean, has the global market grown from the U.S. perspective? Yeah,
it really has. It's amazing, really. The global market is I've never seen the growth like it is now. I mean, it's pretty astonishing. And again, there's ups and downs to it. I mean, I think you have to be a player in it if you want to, do big business. But there's ups and downs. Sometimes you don't get paid. Which is something that seems to happen to me.
I tried to send Luca Brasi over.
No, Luca Brasi's everywhere.
But
my money. Apparently, in West Africa, it only costs you $20.
I know. That's true.
For like $40, you get like the real kick-ass dude. Matumbo be like at your door.
One of the Maasai warriors.
Oh man. Well, dude, it sounds like you are just not letting up, which is a good thing. We like to hear this, Brian. We like to hear these stories, and we like to hear from you. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to drop in and in amongst your global travels worldwide. Do remember us little people.
Are you going to find time for the little ones here over at White Plains?
Yeah, you coming?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there next weekend. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it. I mean, there's no place like New York in the springtime. I literally just adore the city in the spring, and I haven't been the last couple times because I've been out of town. So I'm really looking forward to getting there this time. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys
on a Friday. Maybe you should come on over.
Andy's harassing you into coming and hanging out in the studio.
Actually, it's something I really wouldn't mind doing, to be honest with you. I am thinking about coming out on Friday instead of Saturday like I normally do. So, seriously, give me a call this week, and if that's a realistic thing, I would seriously, I'd like to stop by. It would be a really fun time.
And then we get to paint New York City red with Brian's hair on Saturday.
No, it'd be really good. But no, seriously, if you guys would like to have me, I would love to come in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see the new place. I mean, the place looks fantastic, and I would, it'd be a great thing to do for sure.
You haven't even seen, we have a stripper pole on the other side. It's great. It's a big studio.
Good. Well, I'm usually pretty good at dancing on a pole. So.
I know, that's the whole reason we got it. We don't have chicks here. We just have a stripper pole.
Okay. I'll bring my Dorothy dress, and we'll be good to go.
That is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I've lost all credibility. There's no sense in even trying to maintain any level of respect.
Brian, I have a folder with just the most spectacular pictures of you, dude, and it's great because you don't understand. It's like I don't even have to go out looking for them. Like every now and then, I get a message from one of Brian's employees. And it'll be like, hey, I've got this great picture you could probably use. And I'll be like, okay, in the archives. Tink, like it goes right away.
Yeah,
I can bet who that person is, too.
There's a couple, actually. A couple. I had 3 distinct individuals that are employed by Brian that freely hand over pictures whenever the opportunity arises.
Well, I just always think, these pioneers of the reptile world that, and I'm supposed to be, taking their lead or whatever, and I just think these guys have to be just rolling their eyes like, what the hell have we done?
Why is that guy sitting there dressed up in some kind of weird costume or get-up or whatever?
Yeah. The thing is, though, guys, is that I think it's all about having fun, and the day that I take myself too seriously is the day I'll get out of this business. I mean, I'm having a good time, and I know some people really don't like the fact that I make a lot of fun of myself and I have a good time and I do things that are kind of outlandish. But in the end, if it isn't about fun, then I don't want to be a part of it.
Fun is the rule, always.
Absolutely. And great report on the from the reptile report. Nice little video you had.
Yeah, those guys are great. Judy did an amazing job. It was so much fun. I talked to Robin today, and when he posted it, And that's what I told him. I said, and you guys know, obviously, whenever I'm on the show or whenever we talk off air, I don't shut up, so.
That's why we love having you on. It makes it easy.
So we had, me and Judy had probably about a 2-hour conversation, and how the hell she pulled what she did out of it, I have no idea, because she would ask me like one question, and I'd just go off for like 25 minutes about things. and somehow she was able to still quote me, and she was able to, get things together. So, I mean, she did a wonderful job, and really, it was a pleasure to be involved, and it's good stuff.
Dude, you are like always branching into all these crazy like little side projects and shit that I don't even know about half the time. I randomly came across Brian doing this website. What was it? monkeydoo.com or something like that? Do you know what I'm talking about, Brian?
Yeah, it was
what is
Monkey
that?
What? Yeah,
okay, so
Monkey C.
monkeydoo or whatever.com. I don't know what the website is. All right.
I'm glad you rephrased that one.
So there's this website that you go to, and it's like it has like instructional videos, and they have a series of instructional videos like how to care for your lizard, how to care for your snake, and it's Brian Barczyk doing it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like out of nowhere, it's like I can't get rid of you. You're popping up on my screen constantly.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, any chance I get to do anything, I'm all over it, and I definitely seem to be busy with that stuff, and it was a lot of fun. They asked me to do a series on. We did, I think, bearded dragons, leopard geckos, corn snakes, ball pythons, and amphibians, and so I think it was a 6-part series altogether. And the hardest part was about that series, to be totally honest, was it was 100% scripted. So, like, every word out of my mouth. Now, fortunately, I was able to see the script before, and I agreed on it. And it was well written. It was really well written. They did their research and fine. But, I mean, literally, there was, like, no deviating from the script whatsoever. So it's hard to do, like, a 3 or 4 minute video where you have to memorize every word that you say. And that was the hard part. And we shot it all in one day. So I literally had to do like 6 videos that were like 3 to 4 minute long videos that I memorized every word. So it was probably, I mean, trust me, it was a lot harder to shoot than, say, a Snake Bites episode when, all those things are relatively, thought out and somewhat scripted. It's still kind of ad-libbed, you know what I mean? I know what I'm going to say, but it's my own words that I say it. Whereas this was, I couldn't even use my own words. I had to use their words. And but it was great. I mean, they did a good job. And I mean, I don't know how successful it was. I have no idea. I never really followed up with it. But
I just love finding these random little tidbits of you all over the internet, Brian. It's very funny. And I mean, it was good. It was no Urban Tarzan. Don't worry about it. You're good.
No, oh God, thank God, man. That's a great record.
You know what? I gotta be honest, man. I gotta be honest. When I first saw the trailer for it, for a split second, because of the dude's hair, I thought it was you.
For Urban Tarzan?
Yes, I thought it was Brian.
Like, Brian, you finally got a show on Spike TV.
This guy's a douche.
Well, you know what's funny is that what's funny is Spike TV has been looking for an animal show for probably about 3 or 4 years now, and they actually flew me out there almost 2 years ago, or maybe more than 2 years ago. And it was actually, it was really neat. I got a chance to meet with Sharon, the president of Spike, and obviously I just wasn't the Urban Tarzan, so they didn't bring me on. They certainly, I mean, how bad does that make me feel that I got trumped by that dude?
Yo, I got the job over Brian Barczyk.
It's like, Brooklyn, man. I mean, talk about an ego freaking smash, but that's okay because I mean, really, I've kind of hey, I still would love to do TV. You guys know that, but I really am really focused on being the guy for the internet. Being the internet animal guy. I mean, that's what I want to do right now. And although if TV comes my way or something happens, we just shot some stuff for Discovery over in England 2 weeks ago. And that was a lot of fun. We had a really good time, and it'll air sometime this summer. But it'll only air in the UK, unfortunately. But it'll be fun. But so I'll still try to do that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be on Facebook. I think they said they post the clips on Facebook, so I'll make sure to put them your way when they do. But I mean, I'll still do that. But I feel like the internet's kind of bigger, anyways. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if you heard the internet's like the wave of the future. I think.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to catch on, but I think it might stick around for a while.
All right.
But no, it's that's where I think 5 years from now I'll be better to have stuck on the internet and do my thing. And I don't know, I'm sure you guys saw that. I'm working for that Mutual of Omaha thing, which is a web series host, and that I think that will be a lot of fun if I can get there. but let's see what happens.
You know what, Brian? In all honesty, I mean, with all the ridiculous animal shows that are on currently, there's no reason to reduce yourself to their level. I mean, they are just such garbage that's out there right now. And you know what? Urban Tarzan, he may know his animal things, but the way he's being portrayed and the way it's being produced, it's total and utter shit. Like, I would hate to see you in that type of situation.
If you're dealing with a monkey with cough syrup, Brian, I'll be disappointed in you.
Or a monkey that tries to attack you with a knife. Or is smoking.
Well, you guys should have seen the pilot for History Channel. It made Urban Jungle, or made Urban Tarzan look better than that. Yeah, it was pretty tough. You're absolutely right, dude. Seriously, it's the fact that you're in the TV executive's hands and they can portray you in any way they want. And like you said, I don't really know the guy from Urban Tarzan. He may very well be an incredible animal expert. But yeah, they're portraying him like a complete buffoon, and that's what TV wants right now. They want buffoons, They want hillbillies with beards and no teeth, and they don't want somebody that seems like they know what they're doing and very passionate. That's just not. As a matter of fact, again, in that reptile report, she highlighted the fact that I said, the TV cycle right now is just in a completely opposite direction of where we're going. We're going in one direction, and literally you could not be more polar opposite than the cycle in TV right now. So there's really little to no hope of me doing any TV in the near future. Anything substantial. I think the cycle will come around again. It might be a year, it might be 2 years. Ironically enough, the cycle was really close about 2 years ago. That's when obviously Robbie got picked up, and we got signed 6 or 8 months after he did. So the cycle was in a really great position, but it turned really quick. Mm-hmm. I mean, it went from like, okay, we want this type of programming to we don't want to have anything to do with this type of programming. And, what? You're from Michigan? No. We want you to be from Louisiana or Mississippi, and we'd like you to have a 3-foot-long beard. And could you lose the teeth? And can we subtitle your
and they point at Chewy and go, you'll work.
yeah, exactly.
Chewy and Josh got jobs.
that's the only two people. Yeah, I can't grow a beard even if I want to. So I'm out for the next. Yeah, I'm out for the next, whatever, until they decide they don't want beards again. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Mike Clarkston not too long ago, and that's exactly what he said. He said, if you're not from Louisiana, you're probably not getting a TV show. And I mean, how narrow-minded is that? Like, they don't care if you're good. They just like, oh, you're not from Louisiana? No, not interested.
It's like if you're not dumb enough for us, like, not that people from Louisiana are dumb, but it's like they're shooting for like these voids in civilization. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's analogous to you guys in New Jersey. You know what I mean? Like, everyone thinks that you guys are Jersey Shore. And I think that's what's happening in Louisiana. The poor people from the poor people from Louisiana that are great people are being portrayed as these morons. Which is really a sad thing.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right.
TV, we don't need you. It's all right, Brian.
The internet is the wave of the future.
Yeah, to reiterate what Andy said, I'm glad that you're sticking to your guns and doing it your way best. Because,
absolutely.
That's the way to go. This TV stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so fun. I mean, I'm so into the show right now and producing stuff and making shows. It's been such a great time, and that's, it's such a blessing. It really is. I mean, I love what I do on all levels. I love the production. I love working with the animals. I love the travel. I love, life isn't always perfect by any stretch. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of headache on a lot of fronts. But I'm not kidding you guys. I count my blessing every day. I mean, I just sit back and think, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. And I the only thing is, and this is maybe somewhat in my makeup or something like that, I keep thinking, like, when is the ride going to end? You know what I mean? Is it going to get better or is it going to get worse? And that's why I'm trying to cherish every minute of it.
As
like,
you should,
do the travel and do the other things, because I don't know. Maybe 6 months from now, no one's going to want to see me on the internet. Maybe 6 months from now, who knows what's going to happen? So I'm just trying to enjoy the ride as much as I can, and hopefully, 6 or 8 months from now, the ride gets even better. But I have no idea what's going to happen.
Well, that's what Andy's Brian, Andy's making fun of you in the background, just so you know.
You are a big douchebag.
No, he's really not.
You know I love you, Brian.
We were just saying we were going to get sick of you in 3 months, not 6. But no, Brian. We were glad that you're doing it your way, man. Because we love having you out there. We love having someone with your enthusiasm and knowledge and just vision for everything. Because you obviously see things that people don't, and we enjoy that tremendously. So we love seeing you out there. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep expanding the way you're doing. We will be there alongside with you. And
yes.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you next week too. So we'll also catch up on some other stuff, and we'll talk and all that good stuff. But I want to thank you for coming by, Brian, as usual. It's always a pleasure. And we just lost like a whole hour already. I want to talk to you about some of the other things, and of course we never get to it. So eventually at some point we'll get to it on air. But in the meantime, thanks again, Brian, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Brian.
We really appreciate having you and taking the time out to talk to us. I know you've been busy, especially the last few weeks. So.
No, well, thank you guys, and obviously thanks to all the listeners. I really appreciate it, and I literally hope that I'll be in studio next weekend.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to talk about that, and we'll get it going.
Excellent.
All right, everybody, give it up for Brian Barczyk. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, good night, guys. Bye.
Urban Jungles Radio. Danny Mendez from Urban Jungles Radio. Danny Mendez from Urban Jungles Radio. Danny Mendez from Urban Jungles Radio. Urban Jungles Radio. Urban Jungles Radio. Danny Mendez. Urban Jungles Radio. Urban Jungles Radio. Urban Jungles Radio. Danny Mendez from Urban Jungles Radio. Thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome, Mr. BBC guy, and thank you very much for that, Brian Barczyk and Jungle Junkies, for tuning in and listening to Brian.
Brian always makes it so easy. He makes it easy.
First I want to say something. While Brian's talking, me and Andy are kind of goofing around back here, but it's in no way disrespectful to Brian, because it's just that we know that Brian can carry on, so it gives us a chance to just kind of lay back and chill out.
All you have to do is throw a word at Brian, and he has an entire diatribe on it. And that's why we love him. He talks. He's got such personality. He's so energetic that he just makes you want to move mountains.
He does. Brian always inspires me. Brian is a huge inspiration behind Urban Jungles Radio. I've said that numerous times. In talking with him, he always gets me amped up and going and looking for the next good thing. So kudos to you, Brian, and good luck with your future projects. Now.